experience that you guys went through as a group, the connectedness of this team, what do you think this will mean for you guys moving forward, knowing that you're just kind of at the doorstep of what you're building?
In the moment, it kind of sucks, you know. Everybody probably feels like, you know, we left a lot on the table, and I think that's a really good thing. You know, my first year we had like a really average year and kind of got bounced out before even kind of getting into the playoffs. So to have the year that we had now and be disappointed is also like a really good thing, you know, doing what we did. So something that we're going to build on and brought us really closer together. You know, you can't get better with these experiences without having them. So it's definitely a good thing that we were able to kind of go through this together as a group, especially being young. And I think it'll serve us really well down the stretch.
Jalen, just what did the playoffs feel like compared to your expectations going in?
Probably about the same. It was physical. It was really competitive. It's definitely there's definitely a change from the regular season to the playoffs. Like I said, yeah, it's way more physical. You know, guys are playing like it could be their last game, so everybody's kind of just ready to kind of give it their all. So it was really fun playing in that environment, and you know, it kind of opens up what you need to do in the off season to kind of be prepared for it next time you're in it.
Yeah, and last night Mark was just saying that he wants the feeling after the game, that pain to be an investment toward the future. I just wonder, because we didn't talk to you last night, how you would describe that feeling after the game, and just is there part of you that wants to preserve that for the future?
I mean, it didn't feel good. There's no other team that I would rather have that feeling with, for sure, just because I know it's a bunch of motivated guys in the locker room with me. But yeah, it's a feeling that I'm gonna carry throughout the summer and carry throughout, you know, probably the rest of my career. You know, that being the first time that I'm in the playoffs. But yeah, just use that chip on my shoulder and kind of press through that way. But it's something that's gonna motivate the rest of the guys, myself. Like I said, it's a good thing that we kind of have that feeling early, something that we can always remember and, you know, try and be better for.
You just mentioned there's no other team that you'd rather go through that. Shay mentioned now there's no other team he'd rather experience that loss with. Mark said he wanted to continue to just be around you guys. And what makes this group so special?
We're really connected, and that's probably a boring answer, but like, we have a really close-knit group of guys that you can't really, it's hard to really kind of replicate that or find. And it happened organically. You know, a lot of it's through just being drafted together or, you know, being signed together. So it's just one of those things where organically it happened, and, you know, we kind of got lucky that we like each other, and then I think it grew into something more. I think last year really helped us get close. When you struggle together, it kind of brings out everybody's like true colors, and everybody's true colors kind of matched up well, and you know, we were able to kind of get closer as a team, and I think that was kind of the result that we got this year.
With this team, like, nobody has really gone out of their way to put their needs first. Like, you could have easily been like, I want to establish myself in the NBA. Shay could have been, I want to be an MVP this year. It just all happened naturally. What all went into that? Like, what all went into you just continue to stay within the team and not focusing on yourself?
I think for me personally, I want to see everybody else on the team do well too. Like I said, we have a lot of good dudes on the team that you can't help but root for and hope for the best. So from my perspective, it's just being able to give myself up for them, and hopefully that gets reciprocated. And I think it did. You know, everybody had a really good year through the ups and downs of the season. Regardless, I think we all kind of stuck together, and I think when everybody wants to see everybody else do well, it allows us to be comfortable and kind of play to our strengths and be the best version of ourselves, and we were able to do that this year. But yeah, I have no problem giving myself up for those guys and trying to do the right thing on the court, on and off the court, and I think that's kind of what transpired.
How does it show up in a guy like Josh, who started ever since he's been here, and then he has to go to the bench and other guys come in, something he had to deal with? How does that show up in that whole situation?
It's really impressive. There's a lot of guys in the NBA that could have made a really big deal about that, and I think ruined ruling camaraderie of the team, but he did a really good job of buying into that and just being ready when his number was called. A lot of guys have had to do that all year. And, you know, we've let it be known to him that, you know, that's really selfless, and, you know, we really appreciate him for that, you know, being willing to do that. Like you said, when you come into the NBA and have the success he has, and then, you know, obviously we get in a big moment and, you know, we kind of move our lineup around. I think to be able to take himself out of that equation and kind of look what's best for the team, I think was really commendable. And, you know, like I said, just kind of being ready when your number's called. I think he did a good job of that, and being willing to do that is something that it makes everybody else willing to want to do it too.
Josh mentioned how being around you guys was like his therapy. He had a lot of ups and downs this year. Just being around you guys, talk about how much he loves you. Could you sense him needing that to get over those down times?
For sure. Like you said, you know, he had a lot of ups and downs this year. Probably a lot of guys can't really play through that and be productive the way he was. And, you know, I don't want to say it was us, but I think understanding when somebody kind of needs you there, you know, we're around each other how many months out of the year? Maybe like 6-7 months out of the year. So it's like every day. So I think if we can make his life a little easier when he comes to play basketball, you know, it's something we were willing to do and tried to do. Like I said, a lot of it's organic too. It's just, you know, us being us, and, you know, we're not going out of our way to do anything. But I think when basketball is your therapy with guys you like playing with, I think it's really fun. And, you know, I'm happy to hear that, you know, we made his life a little easier.
Jalen, just with you being online, I imagine you saw, like, throughout the playoffs, maybe some criticism here and there just about your online presence throughout the playoffs. Just what do you make of that, and what do you say to those people?
Doesn't bother me at all. I got to play in the playoffs, be a key piece on the youngest team in history to be a 1 seed and win a playoff series. So, and compete in the last one to go to 6. Obviously, you know, have a chance to play in the Western Conference Finals. Experiences like that will make me better. Criticism, I could care less about. It doesn't really bother me. I'm gonna go back to a very good life right after we're done with this interview, so it doesn't bother me at all.
Personally, did you feel a need to maybe navigate that balance between, you know, wanting to be online, you know, being in that universe, but also like being here, being present, whatnot?
Yeah, I think in the playoffs it's probably just heightened because there's not as many teams playing, so now the focus is a little changed. So I got off of it a little bit. I wasn't on Twitter as much, but I was still there. I still saw some of the stuff, but like I said, it doesn't really hold any value. It's, you know, behind a keyboard. There's also a lot of love, you know, on social media too. I think in the heat of it, you know, you want to be consumed so much with people that are possibly preying on your downfall or hating, but at the same time, you know, I got a lot of like true, authentic, like, love and appreciation for what we've been doing all year. So you kind of just got to take it with a grain of salt. But I try and just use it as motivation and go from there. But I think all year nothing really changed. You know, I try and navigate my way through social media and try and use it as a positive kind of force.
Do you think the marking will carry over into next year, and do you hope it does, and do you like how this place has completely kind of taken to you, having that kind of like fun out there on the court? You have the sticks.
Yeah, I hope it continues. I think it's cool. You know, I've been on record saying I've been barked at Target or Starbucks. We could probably chill on that a little bit. But I think it's a really cool thing. You know, it's like our like team thing. You know, kind of going back to the social media thing. Like, people were hating on that too, but I think it's just a really fun like thing that we didn't even try to do. It just, you know, kind of ended up happening. You know, somebody's mom was barking during the game, so it's like one of those things that's really cool. So yeah, I hope it happens. I think it's kind of like our identity, and it's been cool. I think a lot of our identity hasn't been forced either. A lot of it's just like, you know, us being goofy, and then it kind of ends up being something pretty cool. So I enjoy it. I hope it continues. I'll keep doing like little T-shirts and pregame thing. You know, nothing in that department is gonna change.
JDub, first team All League bids. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shea got MVP. I don't know how you feel about that. I personally like parity, and he's won like 2 or 3 now. But either way, I think Lou got like 3rd team or
Lou should have been higher.
mentioned. Yeah. What's your opinion on him getting snubbed? 1st team, my opinion.
I think he is a 1st team snub. I don't want to say anything that's gonna get me out of graces of being the 1st team, but I mean, fashion is subjective. I will say that. And league fits will, like, I'm cool with them too. So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like really like preference based. So, I would say just wear whatever you want. You know, like I said, fashion's subjective. So everybody's gonna have a different opinion on what it is. You know, Shea got MVP. I think he should have gotten the actual MVP. So I think it was good that he got the league fits one. But yeah, you know, I think it's like a cool thing as well.
Definitely. And then on top of that, how does like you being 1st team this year, how does that, in your opinion, parlay into, you know, Paris fashion? You getting more opportunities like in the fashion space? How much are you looking forward to that?
It should be fun. Paris sounds exhausting right now. It definitely opens up different doors. You know, when basketball stops bouncing, whenever that is, you know, it's cool to have like other outlets and stuff like that. So I haven't given like the fashion week and all that stuff too much thought yet. But it's something that opens a lot of doors, something that I like to do outside of basketball, especially when I got in the NBA. I kind of found it more as an outlet. You know, I kind of find myself in my closet just kind of like trying different stuff on and doing that, just kind of like a release, something else besides basketball. So it's been good for me. Hopefully somebody pays for my flight to go out there. But yeah, I think it's like it's a good thing. I think it kind of adds to something I'd like to do when basketball's done. And we all kind of know how fashion is kind of integrating from basketball and how those worlds are colliding. So.
Dub, you mentioned after the series that you sort of know what you need to work on. How do you sort of decipher like those things? Because there's only so many hours in the day and so many basketball skills. Like, how do you sort of figure out like what's number 1 on the agenda you need to add?
I forgot who I heard this from when I was in like 8th grade, but it was just like every summer you try and pick something, one thing, no matter what it is, and get really good at that, and then try and hone in the rest of the skills that you have. So, like this playoffs, I'm not gonna disclose what I gotta do, but this playoffs, I'm gonna pick one thing that I was like, okay, this is what was more difficult for me to do, and I'm gonna really kind of hone in on that all summer, and then, you know, as the summer progresses, I'm gonna get really good at that one thing and hone in the rest of the skills that I already have. You know, I had a really good year, so just trying to add to that and keep those same skills and just get really elite at one of my weaknesses that I think I wouldn't even say a weakness, one of the things that I'm not as good at, and kind of get really good at that and then add to it.
Have you decided on that, or is there like an evaluation period?
Yeah, I already know.
But what was that for you last summer?
Coming into this year,
Mm-hmm.
Understanding my spots. So last year I watched a ton of film. I think if you kind of watched last year too, I didn't really even, a big part of my game was kind of like bumping and getting to like that little elbow pull up. I did not have that last summer, or coming into this year. That wasn't something I really did, but it was somewhere that I was ending up on the floor a lot, and just kind of like within our offense, that was somewhere where I was kind of getting stuck and picking the ball up and not really knowing what to do. So that was something I added to my game, and I still only shot like 1 free throw a game, but being able to draw fouls a little bit this year and play through contact, I thought I was able to kind of add that a lot to my game. I thought I finished really well this year, so I was able to kind of add those 2 things, and then now that's something that this summer will be on the back end of keeping it sharp and then getting better at something from this past year.
What all goes into finding your favorite spots on the floor?
Trial and error. The more you play, the more you, as a basketball player, you know what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. And then the goal at the end of the day is to blend the 2 so people can't really see it. So a lot of it is just looking at film and remembering how it felt to shoot certain shots. And it's kind of hard to explain. It's like one of those things with sports. It's like you're gonna really be the only person that like actually knows how you feel in those situations. So just trying to watch all my shots and shots I didn't shoot, and then just trying to remember what made me comfortable shooting this one and what made me uncomfortable shooting that one.
Kinrich, in an endearing way, said you're a different type of guy. What do you think he means by that?
How do you say it? Was he smiling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Hopefully it was maybe basketball related. I don't even know. Maybe I'll have a better answer if I watch the video. Hopefully it was something good though. But we have a good relationship. You know, I ask him questions just about like being in the NBA, being a pro. He was big in the series too. That was who I was talking to a lot as well. Probably him and Shay, just about navigating the playoffs, and when I was struggling a little bit, like that was somebody that was kind of talking me up and keeping me engaged in the game, and did that. So salute to him for sure. But he was harping on just, you know, continuing to play the right way, being aggressive, and you know, not losing my defensive prowess that I kind of have, being a two-way, trying to be an elite two-way player. So he was big on that this whole playoff run and the whole season.
Talk a lot about player growth. But where have you seen Mark grow in your 2 years as coach?
Obviously, it's probably a little harder for you guys to know just because you guys aren't in the war room. But scheme-wise, I think he's been really good. You know, that comes from understanding the personnel that he has on the floor. He's been throwing in so many different lineups and, you know, giving us all different looks with each other that it really kind of helped us later in the season to be able to play in some stretches where, like, Lou, for example, is in foul trouble. Now Queso has to come in. Like, that wasn't something new that we had in. So I thought he did a really good job of preparing us beginning of the year. So I would definitely say, like, scheme-wise, he's been really good. Just kind of understanding us as players, and you know, it just comes with time. You know, obviously, the more you coach players, the more you know about them, and he's been really good with us this year and last year.
Last one to you, come.
The other day, you mic'd up and said that the Shea is the worst with the lob, and then you were successful throwing 3 lobs yesterday, but he also did pretty good lob. What did you think of that?
I was very shocked, and it was and it was a big time lob. But actually, he is a great passer. It was very out of context. It was, we throw a lob every day, like before every game during our like warm ups, and he's never thrown a good one. So that was where that came from. But he is a good passer. I think he averages like 7 assists or something, so he can pass the ball. But,
Go ahead, Joe. Last one.
But yeah.
Dub, now that you mentioned the lob, just in that moment, like before the next play obviously altered the game, like what did that play feel like, just the magnitude of it all as it happened?
It was a big play. Thought we were gonna win. I think for him to even pass the ball in that situation where he had 36 at the time, be somebody in his position, you know, he can't even get mad if he shot it. So for him to kind of trust us, and, you know, obviously Chet, who got the dunk to throw it and make the play, was big. Just kind of shows our team, you know, we have a lot of trust in each other to hit shots and do that whole thing. He got squeezed at the top of the key with like 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and he threw it to Jay Will, and he threw it to me, and I got a 3 on the right wing. I think just him willing to be able to get off the ball and do that and make plays. I think we got a rebound, and he kicked it to Lou by our bench. Lou got a 3. He didn't even make it, and then he threw it to him again. I threw it to him 2 times in a row. I think that kind of just speaks to, you know, the trust he has in all of us to make plays, and he's willing to live with the result, making the right play.
Were you surprised about Chet's end of it, just the difficulty in grabbing it with one hand?
I didn't think he was gonna grab it with one hand. I would not have done that. So shout out Chet for being 7 feet. But yeah, that was. If you ask him, he'll probably say it was pretty easy. You know, I'm not a footer, so I don't really know what to say. But I definitely would not have grabbed that with one hand. So
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks,